yes, I do my 9 to 5, like, I get, my check to pay the bills and things like that, and then I do my passion, which is YouTube, and then, I also have time for me to do, cycling. Like, I've created a schedule where, like, I literally cannot fit anything else. Like, my social time is, like,
Hello, big dreamers. Katie Rhines, your registered dietitian. Look who we've got here today, Tino Benaniak. How you doing?
good, how's it going?
To be honest, your vision of health here is kind of sick. It's like hilarious how it happens, whatever. But last time we caught up, I feel like was it before I was working for Dr. Furman a long time ago? And like I just know that
Yeah.
you and I have vibed really well because we're both these like trying to be dietitians and vegan and like activists kind of saving the world here. And I just want to help out some dietetic students out there so you can connect with us and just like see what our journeys have been like. And I'm super curious what your journey has been like.
Yeah, I mean, I back in when was it? I wanna say maybe, like, 2011, I was trying to 2010? I don't know, but, like, years ago, right? 2010, 11, I was trying to get healthier and opening my mind up to, becoming fitter, learning, the benefits of cardio exercises, learn about nutrition and things like that. Like, just, testing the waters out. Um, Come 2011, I think I watched a documentary called Forks Over Knives and a bunch of other ones, but Forks Over Knives really opened my eyes. And so 2012, I started incorporating like more plant-based foods, and I actually went vegan for 40 days, um, 40 days before Greek Easter, which was in 2012. Because it's like it's a tradition in Greece, like you fast for 40 days, but you're really eating a plant-based diet, sometimes even no oil, which is kind of crazy. But I did that, and then April 15th, 2012 was Greek Easter, and I never looked back. I didn't eat lamb that day or any other animal products, and I just kept on going. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. I feel great. I want to tell people more about this. So I decided to pursue a career in nutrition and dietetics. And that's kind of where I got here today. So I have a bachelor's in dietetics and a master's in nutrition. So, and I'm doing YouTube videos too. I've been doing that, I guess, since 2013.
Yes, your videos are awesome. Everybody check out his videos. I'll definitely link them up. But yeah, Benaniac. Everybody check out Tino. But yeah, I'm curious, are you still on the path to becoming a dietitian or are you like, screw that?
Well, I've had mixed emotions or thoughts, I guess. I have my master's, which is great. It's definitely opened, more doors and more opportunities with that. Like, I'm really glad I got that. Um, to become a dietitian, it's kind of competitive. So it's been a little bit tough, kind of nailing an internship, but it's still kind of in the scope of what I want to become. But I'm keeping it, again, and like I have different like possible plans for me. So it's not like all in. Like, I know some people like to go all in on, this dietetics thing. And, some of them will succeed, some of them will not find an internship. Like I said, it's so competitive. And I'm so happy for you. Like, you've done the internship, right? You've done your master's, so you're all taken care of, right?
Yeah. But like whatever. Like it's funny my path has been so like all over the place.
I
Um
feel like the goal to success, it's like you don't go from here to here. It's like this.
yeah.
And then you eventually get there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I've been a dietitian with a master's degree for a couple years now. And like I'm not really doing much with it to be honest. Like it's kind of I mean, I was working full time at a weight loss center in Pasadena, And it was really frustrating because I wasn't able to counsel clients. He didn't want to pay me that much. Um, like it was plant-based nutrition though. The guy I was working under was a naturopath, and it was like, you know, I was talking and educating about plant-based nutrition. Meanwhile, they were selling like whey protein powders and like smart cake, like weight loss foods, and it was just it was pretty out of integrity for me in a lot of ways, so I quit. Like I'm very like I was also really miserable, just like the environment and the people I was with, and that was honestly, besides working for Dr. Furman, that was probably like one of the better opportunities compared to working like, you know, uh like at a dialysis center or
Yeah.
wherever a dietitian would work. Like none of it is like exciting or makes me feel like excited to go to work, you know?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I'm sure the Dr. Furman job out in Florida, like I'm sure you really enjoyed that. Like
yeah,
being around that environment, promoting a plant-based diet.
right. Yeah. And Dr. Marvis is amazing. Like I was really closely working with Dr. Marvis and giving food demos and grocery store tours and like organizing potlucks for these people and like teaching them how to cook. And it was a really, really neat situation. But to be honest, like I guess I just missed LA. Like I felt kind of alone. It was like I guess, you know, I was really not super happy just because like I'm super young and the whole clientele there were like really older people. Like I just felt like I was very, very isolated and alone at the same time too. Like I'm not gonna say that I didn't like really enjoy that job, but there were aspects of it that I was like, okay, like, and then I was so stoked to get to go see you in Miami. I was like, oh my God.
I
Yeah.
know, it's so cool, like finally being able to meet you, because I mean, we've like chatted, online before, and we talked about, our path becoming a dietitian and all that. And
Right.
it's so awesome, like seeing you there. I think we had gone to like, uh, what was it called? It's like this fruit and spice park, I think, in Miami.
So cool. There's like zillions of mango. It's like everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that the jackfruit
We
we
stole.
we picked it from the tree. We weren't supposed to, but I mean, you like how often are you gonna pick a fresh jackfruit from a tree, right?
Yeah, I was like, this is abundance, people. Like, let's just take this check.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was so fun.
But I feel your frustration. It's hard to find like a position where you're just promoting a plant-based diet. You know what I mean? There's not too many of them out there. Um, that's probably the most frustrating part is like being around, the other things that you don't believe in. Like maybe you're working in an environment where a lot of meat and dairy is being promoted, or, you know, like you just don't feel as comfortable promoting a plant-based diet. Like maybe your coworkers, like, there's some sort of like social stigma or pressure. So I totally feel that. Like this is not like an easy position to be in. Even when you're in school, like, you
Yeah.
it's tough to find a lot of like other vegans, if there are any in your class. Like I don't know, did you have any other vegan?
No, I was 100% the only, like,
Wow.
the alien.
Thankfully, I actually had a really good support group in my class. Without them, I honestly don't know like how I would have made it. um I don't know if you could see this. Can you see that?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That picture?
I wanted to say, like, you've been seriously making showing yourself at these awesome conferences and were you at Expo East and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. So this, right. So this was the International Conference of Nutrition and Medicine. But anyway, this right here, this is my old classmate who is now a dietitian for PCRM.
Shut up.
Yeah, and she is vegan. Like we were like class buddies, study, like support each other. And if I didn't have her, and there was other classmates in there too that may have been vegan or plant-based or vegetarian or just open to the concept. Like if I didn't have those people, like I don't know, it's tough. I have mad respect for any vegan who goes into this and makes it through. It's tough.
Same, honestly, same. Wow. Well, yeah, thank goodness for Instagram. Yeah, I was just like, where are my peeps at? Like,
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the other cool thing too, is getting on social media, Instagram or YouTube,
yeah,
and
I feel
just,
like that's how I'm connected with you. Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. You feel like you're a part of a community. Like
Yeah,
when you start sharing and you start following others, it's a really cool way to connect.
yeah. I'm really curious. So you're saying that you have like a bunch of different options and you're feeling like you're not, overthinking or feeling like anxious about the future so much because you've got, it's I'm curious what other things you have in mind for yourself and like just I
Hmm.
just want to say, yeah, I do feel a lot of pressure because I feel like I've really been um encouraging vegans and encouraging people to become a dietitian. And I'm at the spot now where I feel kind of like jaded and like weird about the situation. So yeah, I'm curious like what other options you feel like are out there and what you're looking to do.
Um, so different ideas I've kind of flirted with, I guess, would be, becoming a dietitian or a nutritionist for a vegan organization. Like, I think that's like probably the ultimate goal for anyone really out there. I think most people want to, land a job like that, or possibly start your own private practice where you run the show, and obviously you would run it like with a vegan message in a environment. But besides that, like, hmm I've kind of thought it would be cool to be maybe part of like a sports team where like you're the head nutritionist, or maybe part of like, the coaching team, and like you get to help athletes, recover better and make sure they're getting all their nutrients. I think that would be a cool job too, right? Yeah, because it's not just like the disease prevention and all that. That's good stuff, but like I think even sports nutrition is exciting.
Yeah, that's so funny you said that just because last night I was editing a video and like um the restaurant that I used to work at growing up, like in high school, they had this whole thing from Channel 5 News where they went in and they were like Tom Brady's diet, like he doesn't eat like he eats like a high alkaline diet, like vegan, whatever. And they went into the restaurant and they were like, "Oh, this is dehydrated. It's like very alkaline, blah blah." And I was like, "Wow, like it's funny how that's such a thing for athletes, and you would think, um, I don't know, athletes are so gung ho sometimes about the
Right.
meat situation, but how yeah, top athletes are really vegan, or mostly vegan. So
Definitely. So I think sports nutrition would be cool. um, I would love to do something like with my, I guess you want to call it like personal brand or whatever, like just like make YouTube videos for a living. I think that would be cool. But whatever path, you choose, I mean, you still gotta, work hard. And yeah, luckily, like you and I, like, how old are you, Katie?
oh, I'm going sorry.
Or should I not ask that question?
No, I know it's funny. Like I've had mixed feelings about that question, especially working for Dr. Furman. People are like, "How the heck old are you?" I'm
But I mean, I'm sure you're just like a couple years younger than I am. Um,
25, like literally in like 4 days.
yeah, yeah, I'm 27 right now. Um, Dude, like we're super young. And even somebody in their 30s or 40s, they still have enough time. Like in my nutrition class, there's so many different ranges of ages. It was really inspiring to see people in their 30s and 40s still being in there, because you can tell like they have a passion for this. um, there's plenty of time. Like it's never too late to go after what you love. I know that's cliche, but
No,
whatever.
not at all. I'm like, oh, those words are healing.
Hmm.
That's really good to hear across the board.
Yeah. um Really, there's so many different avenues you can take. I mean, you can go down food service, which I know is not like the sexiest thing, especially if you're like involved with like meat and dairy and eggs and stuff. But like imagine like you could probably work for, you can create plant-based meals, like I don't know. You could probably find an organization that caters plant-based meals to,
Yeah.
you know, parties or things like that. You can be a dietitian. I know most people think of a dietitian as like counseling, but dietitians are managers. You know, they could be involved in marketing, just so many things. Like it's not just one-on-one counseling or teaching. You
Yeah.
really can, yeah, it covers so much.
I actually interviewed this incredible vegan nutritionist. She's like Sustainable Eats, I think, on Instagram. Her name's Shireen Chow. And she's cool because she actually grew up vegetarian, like in Chinese. Like her whole thing is like normal to be vegan. So, but she actually started a cooking course and a nutrition course at the USC Med School, like close by.
Oh yeah.
I was super inspired by that. I was like, I want to create, because like even there's a lot of universities out there who still don't even have nutrition programs in them. And
Right.
mention like nutrition for medical students or like that whole thing. So that's an opportunity for us too. I was thinking to like create some kind of a curriculum or a course at a university. Um,
And I like personally I like actually teaching and
me
like yeah. So I think something like that would be cool. Even if it's not like at the college level, like maybe even like in high school, like people get their health ed or whatever. Like that would be
that's so
I
true. Or
I
even
think it would be cool.
I was always thinking too, like in elementary schools, like parents, like all of it, like they all need it. And then
Yeah.
with this idea, I was so inspired, and then I was like, oh, and then there's like rent to pay and like all of this like things to figure out, and like how do you even do that? Like it's like seems like so like is that really, and like do you even get paid doing that? Like or you know what I mean? Like how does that,
Yeah.
and with starting your own private practice, I actually invested a lot of money in like business course, and it was cool. Like I actually was succeeding at my own private practice, uh, and like I still kind of am. I have some potential client calls lined up next week, but I guess I recently learned that I have imposter syndrome. Like all my friends have been like, "Oh my gosh, you have imposter syndrome." Is that like that's definitely a thing where I feel like, yes, I have a master's degree and I'm a dietitian, but like it's a lot of pressure on me, especially with like everybody wants to be like, not everybody, but there's this whole push with like keto and all these different opinions. And like, I feel like I really need to be very like strong about what I know and like what is, yeah, what is right and not like waver from that. It's been an interesting journey with that, and I'm still learning a lot. And I feel like, um, yeah, I feel like I just, it'd be nice to have somebody like business savvy to talk to about both of those things, whether it be private practice or starting your own curriculum at a school. Like, I just feel like, yes, I've been giving all this education and it's not over. Like, I'm very much still learning a lot.
I think a big part of it too is going to be like social media. Like we talked a little bit about it, but I think that's going to be a huge part. I mean, everybody now has a smartphone. They're all on like everybody's on their phones. Like that's how people get their news, their inspiration, their education for,
Yeah.
partly. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be huge. So I think if you go under private practice, or maybe I think anybody could even start like a personal brand. Like I think that's going to be a huge aspect for connecting with people, making, you know, getting people's attention and getting people to know you. Like I think that is so important and could definitely help in terms of like business. And who's, let's say, definitely get on social media if you're not already. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the whole reason I got on like back in 2013 is I wanted to educate people. I wanted to inspire others, and indirectly it's also helped me like get my name out there, and like people kind of know me by now. And I've been able to connect with other people. Like yesterday, last night, I talked with Dr. Joel Kahn. Do you know him?
Yeah, he's amazing. I don't know him personally, but I definitely everybody
Did
should.
you did you did you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast that he was on? The
Oh,
episode?
I saw in your story though. You were like,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was a debate. Like Joe Rogan has like one of the most famous, if not the most famous podcasts like on planet Earth. And he had Dr. Joel Kahn and this other guy called Chris Kresser, I think his name is. He was like an advocate for eating a low carb diet, and Dr. Kahn was advocating a vegan plant-based diet. Really cool. Hopefully that episode will come out on my podcast like in a few days. But yeah, it's been awesome. Like, like I was nobody before starting my YouTube channel, right? Like I could never talk to these people, and I think that's brought a lot of benefit for me as a nutritionist or future dietitian.
Definitely. I just want to say that like the clients that do reach out to me, it's from Instagram or YouTube, like for
Right.
because yeah, like when I upload a video, like how to, because I had clients, how to lower your triglycerides even on a vegan diet, like these kinds of things. Then all of a sudden, I had like people with who are vegan with high triglycerides, like reaching out to me, like help me, and I'm like, oh wow, So getting into those, and I don't even know if that's what I want my niche to be or whatever, but the more helpful that I am on YouTube, and like people feel like, oh, she gets it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure the same with you. Like, I feel like you could totally, like, without even being a dietitian, you could totally, like, you have your own credibility. So, like, throughout the years, like, for sure, I feel like people probably reach out to you all the time?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's awesome. I love interacting with people. I love answering people's questions. Um, yeah, it's a gratifying thing to be able to help somebody and change somebody's life, you know? I said, like, even if I could change one or two or three people's lives, like with my videos, that would be amazing. And, obviously I've done a little bit more than that, but yeah, yeah, I think everybody should be on this. If they know, if you have an iPhone, you have a computer, you know a little bit about social media, get on it and start advocating. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Just be brave and get on there and share your story.
Yeah, 100%. Don't worry what other people think. That's probably been a weird, like, hurdle for me, for sure. Like,
Well,
I go back and forth all the time. I'm like, I don't care. And I just, like, post, like, random stuff. And then I'm like, oh no. And then I, like, put myself in a box and I'm like, and then I freak out and I'm like, I don't care. It's, like, always this, like, back and forth thing. But it's so true. I feel like I actually grew my channel more with my iPhone or whatever, Android, and I would just answer a question, not even edit it, not even rewatch it. I would just upload it, answering a question, just being like, Katie, whatever, just like upload. And I forced myself to upload every day. And I was growing my channel just doing that. And lately I've been really inspired to like edit more, and just like I've been doing once a week, kind of better quality instead of like every day. Um,
right.
but I don't know. It's like I feel like it's cool to have a mix of both, or just not get too in your head about it, because yeah, you're right. If you can help one person out there, like people think that doesn't make a difference, but I feel like if one person gets something out of this, then I'm happy about that. That's really
Definitely. And I think you're probably growing because like people are connecting with you. They are getting value from you, and you're helping them, and they can see that. It's important.
so I remember, okay, last time we spoke, were you working at WIC?
Mm-hmm.
How's
Yeah.
where's your journey been since then?
Um. So I'm still working with them, but it's just at a different through a different department. But yeah, I really like Wake. For people that don't know what Wake is, It's a government program, so it's across the USA. Um, half 50 is it right? 50% of babies in the U.S. qualify for WIC. WIC helps women, infants, and children um, who are low income. And man, like so many people qualify. Like if you think you qualify or are questioning it, like definitely reach out. They provide free nutrition education, um, free anthropometrics like height and weight, free lab work. Sometimes they'll check for hemoglobin, or depending on like where at, they'll check like different things. Um, they provide breastfeeding support, which I think is the best. Like if you're having a baby or thinking of having a baby, like breast milk is the absolute best thing you could do for your baby. If it comes down to it and you need formula, WIC provides formula. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think it's a great program. It helps people in need. Now, nutrition education wise, I could tell you like the people I've worked with, they're not really current on like plant-based nutrition. Like there's a lot of myths out there, and I've heard a lot of myths.
Yeah.
But I always have that paper um, from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. I think I sent it to you a while ago, but it was published in 2016 in their journal titled, well, it's a position paper on vegetarian diets, and it includes vegan diets in there. I always have that handy. I have the paper from Kaiser Permanente. Uh, what else do I use? But I have things to like back me up in case like I'm ever questioned. You know
That
what I
is
mean?
huge. Yeah, well, you
You
just
need to do that.
like people
Yeah.
in their dietetic internship, like people like arguing with professors or whatever it is, like there's so many like huge research articles out there to like whip out your back pocket. Like really? Because hi,
Right.
this out.
Yeah, you have to have like sources to back you up. And if it's from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which you've studied under, that's like the best resource that you could use, no questions. Like, you know what I mean? That's coming from, the largest authority in nutrition.
Right.
But yeah, I've been working with them. I like that. I liked working with WIC, but personally, I would love to be in like a 100% vegan environment. But I feel like I've done a lot of good being in a non-specific vegan environment. Um, there's people that have asked me about soy milk, what I think of it as opposed to cow's milk, and like I've helped a lot of people transition to that alone. I've helped people eat more plant-based. I've helped people go vegan too. Like they'll ask me, like, "What do you think about vegetarian and vegan diets?" And I straight up tell them. Um, so it's good. I mean, I feel like I've done my part, but as soon as I get off, it's like, I put my Bananiac hat on literally, and I post my videos, and I don't hold back from my YouTube channel. Like I just tell it how it is.
That's awesome.
But
Yes, that's awesome. Cool.
yeah, I talked a while ago, like when I was a student, I had like a private interview, not one for like um YouTube or anything like that, but just like a conversation with Susan Levin from PCRM. She's like the um director there. You know who she is, but for people that don't know, she's the director of PCRM's nutrition department. She told me like, you know, she admires like the nutritionists and the people that go into these non-vegan environments and help people go vegan, because that's where you're ultimately going to find the most resistance, the most misconceptions, and like, you know what I mean? But like that's the potential of where you could do the most good. But again, it's kind of tough like being in that, because I don't know, it's like a war zone a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like so exhausting. At least for maybe it's just my personality. Like I feel so emotionally invested sometimes. Like I really do care a lot about these people, and I just care too much sometimes. I'm just like, oh, like I don't like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's, you're so right, and it's so true. Like it's so 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 true. You just have to be super chill and forgiving and like not feel like frustrated all the time.
And you have to see where people are too. If they're not ready to learn, they're not ready to learn. If they don't want to, be open to plant-based diet, you can't really do much. You can't force people to accept this. But as soon as I see like somebody questioning it or curious about it, that's my opportunity to speak up about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Like, is it really like, I guess I'm just thinking out loud, just thinking like, I feel so at peace and satisfied and grounded when I'm around people who like get me and like get it. It's just like so nice. Like,
100%.
and like when people don't get it and you just feel like this like lone like weirdo, you're just like, I don't know, not that
Yeah.
like I'm definitely capable of making friends with like all across the board, but it's just like
Well, you're in LA, right?
yeah, I'm in
You're like in the vegan capital of the world. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm over here in Maryland, like all by myself.
well, see, that's why, because in school I was only vegan and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. But no, that's awesome.
Living in LA is the best thing ever. Like,
I
really right around the corner from me, I've got vegan ice cream places, like all like whoa. Everything has vegan options. Everyone's basically vegan.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
always been my dream, like as a little kid, like to come to LA. Like that's where I've always wanted to live, and I've still never visited it. Like the most west I've ever been has been West Virginia, and that's not very west. That's east.
Not West at all.
Yeah. So I really, really want to come and check out LA sometime. But
Especially as a YouTuber, like I feel like I'm everybody's vlogging. Like everybody's a huge
yeah.
like it's not even like so commonplace. It was hilarious on the 4th of July. Like me and my friend were doing a photo shoot on Venice Beach, and there were like these like tourists around being like, "Look at the influencers!" It's like
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's
We're like, "Yeah, this is normal. Like whatever."
There's so many influencers in LA, especially with the vegan community. Like I feel like half the people I'm probably subscribed to are out in LA.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh man. Well, I kind of want to share like it's cool hearing what you're saying about working at WIC, and I want to hear what your opinion is, like honestly, about what I'm doing right now with my life. Actually, you know what? I don't even care about your opinion is because it feels good in my heart, but whatever.
Yeah, let it out.
I actually like I started teaching again, so I teach dance classes and yoga classes at LA Fitness. I open up at a yoga studio, so I've been like these people, whatever, I did my yoga teacher training there. I've been opening their studio. I have a key to their studio, so I work there. But basically full time, I've actually been working as a nutrition consultant at the bougiest grocery store. I don't know if you've heard of Erewhon.
Uh-uh.
So this is like entry, like you don't even need any kind of degree to work to be like a grocery store like consultant. Like you really don't. But there was one other registered dietitian working there, and she moved away. So I feel like I'm taking her place. But like you said, with like disability, first of all, most people that work there are vegan. Like everyone in the nutrition department are like they're pushing, like they really get it. And like people come in there like I'm their doctor. It's hilarious. Like people are like, oh, I've got this rash, or like my like I have diabetes. What can I do? Like literally, like people come into this grocery store, and I it's so fun. Like it's so fun, and I get to like talk about. I've learned so much about like herbs and homeopathic remedies and different kinds of things like that. So not to mention I sell plant-based like omegas and like plant EPA, DHA. Like it's literally my job. And turning people away, talking to them about like collagen, how collagen supplements are so popular, and like the different protein powders. And I'm like, make sure it's plant-based because like blah blah blah. And yeah, just getting to help people like that, it actually feels super, super satisfying. Like it's so cool. And I'll really like educate at least like 5 to 10 people on the daily about like definitely making sure you're eating a plant-based diet. Like, yes, the supplement does this, but you need to be like decreasing your inflammation, decreasing your like cholesterol and saturated fat and blah blah blah. So people are like, oh wow, and they like really I definitely like dress up. Like I feel like I dress like I'm an authority, you know, and it's like people really take me seriously and it's so fun. And I've gotten some clients out of it.
That's
Um,
awesome.
which is so lame. Like that's my full-time job is like working at a grocery store.
Why is that lame though? You're helping people.
I know. Well, like it's also funny too, like like I guess the idea around it, it's like it is a grocery store, but if you've ever like heard of Erewhon or like looked it up or whatever, it's really like it's a really nice place. And I yeah, the pay obviously is like super low. Like it's not like I'm really making any money there.
Got to start somewhere.
It's so funny. So I guess I'm just kind of using that to get more experience and learn. Like I learned so much from all the different companies, like all of the top like brands that are selling supplements. They come in and they like give all these educations about like what their supplements do and the research behind it and like, you know, what's the best form of B12 and why and blah blah blah. Like it's like the store is really picky about what they do sell, which is really cool. Like they don't just they have a whole screening process making sure that certain additives and like the way it's processed, like it's really cool.
So
Um,
is it like a health food store or
right.
like a
Yeah,
fusion
yeah.
of,
I should say
yeah.
that. It's not just a grocery store. It's like a health food store. And you're gonna come to visit and you're gonna go and you're gonna be mind blown. Like this place, it has like all raw vegan stuff, like sprouted buckwheat raw pancakes and like raw wraps and like it's like raw pizza. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Oh,
really like
yeah.
a like experience.
That's cool.
It's crazy. Like oh gosh, I yeah, I feel like I'm just using that to get clients, I think. And then teaching on the side is really fun. And then of course I've been like really inspired and excited to make more videos for sure. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, try to incorporate like different aspects. Like for me, when I would just work like my 9 to 5 or whatever you call it, um, and like I wasn't putting out like videos on a consistent basis, like I actually got a little depressed. Like it was not working for me. Um, so I had to create some sort of like bigger picture type of thing. Like, yes, I do my 9 to 5, like I get my check to pay the bills and things like that. And then I do my passion, which is YouTube. And then, I also have time for me to do cycling. Like I've created a schedule where like I literally cannot fit anything else. Like my social time is like this. Um, it's like I'm not mean, but like I don't have time to like see everybody. Like I go to work, I do my passion, YouTube stuff, I interview people, I go to events, things that I think will benefit others. I ride my bike, and that's pretty much it.
I relate so hard. Like so like thank you. I feel like you just totally like said everything like you just made me feel understood completely. That was awesome. Yeah, like I don't if somebody wants to hang out with me, it's like that's probably why I'm sick right now. It's like I don't have the time, yeah, to be doing like all of these things.
Yeah.
Um and like sleeping enough and like you know what I mean? Like and there's still even yeah, it's just like a lot. So when it can be honestly like too much when people want to hang out and like do social things. It just
Right. It's almost impossible. Like you really have to make choices. Like if I went to work and I came home and like, I went out with a friend or I watched Netflix for a bunch of hours, like that would leave me with like zero time for YouTube, and that would make me depressed because I don't feel like I'm contributing and doing what I love. So you have to like kind of make choices and sacrifices and go for really enjoy Netflix and hanging out with friends, and like you feel complete without having anything else in your life, that's totally cool. But like me personally, and like I'm sure you and like some other people listening, like you need that structure in order to feel fulfilled.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting too. Like I'm so grateful and lucky that like the people that are in my circle now kind of get it and get me,
Hmm.
and like I feel like when we're together it's not unproductive also. Like I feel like I actually have a really good friend who is a incredible YouTuber, and like we'll edit together and stuff, and that's got me like way on my game because I feel like I am an extrovert. Like I love working at the grocery like the health food store. I love working at Air One. I love like putting myself out there. So like sitting and editing all the time by myself can be like uh not fun. But yeah, I feel like having friends that are more in the like health space and healing space and who are vegan, which is crazy. Like moving to LA, yeah, I just happen to meet awesome vegan healing friends. It's like so funny how like everybody's like that in LA. Um, yeah, I'm really grateful also for my
Yeah,
friends.
I'm like the opposite. Like I have to have that alone time. Like I don't want to talk to anybody when I'm on my computer editing, like absolutely nobody. But like since you're the opposite, like you need to go for more of that. Like you need to hang out with that YouTube friend of yours, and honestly, like you really got to like seize this moment of being in LA. Try to collaborate with like pretty much like anyone you can, like, and it'd be so cool. Like not everybody has that experience of being in LA, so like I would try to connect with as many people as you can. Like I remember when I was just a student, like we had one of our teachers say like connections are probably the most important thing in this field. Like who you know is more important than what you know. That's what it comes down to. Like you need to start connecting with people, you learn from them, you collaborate, and ultimately you help more people than if it was just you by yourself.
That's so true. What am I doing? That's so
No,
great.
I mean it's a learning process, but yeah, I mean that's just my thought. I would say like
Oh
try
my
to
gosh,
collaborate, and yeah.
no, it's like I like don't see the water I'm swimming in. It's like I've been here for a bit, so I'm just like, oh, but I can imagine like if I had just moved here, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to meet this person. Like I have to go to this event. Like I have to, and like it's so true. Oh my gosh, you're so right. And there's so many people like, and I've gotten to meet a bunch. Like when I first moved here, it's so funny. Just working at Cafe Gratitude when I first moved here, I met like Mrs. Vegan. Like I feel like there's so many dope people that like, yeah, I should definitely like not that I should, but I want to reach out and like for sure. What? And you're so good at that. You're such an inspiration with that too. Like I feel like you're like really putting yourself out there and going to all these events, and like here I am, that extrovert, like not.
Well, trust me, it all started this year for me. January 1st, like I changed, and I've been on a journey. Like I feel like a completely different person. Like if people watch my earlier videos and watch some of the ones like from the past few months or whatever, like I feel like I'm a different person. Like I've changed my sources of inspiration. I've changed some of my daily habits. Like like I guess it took me to go into like a dark place in order for me to see the light eventually. I know it sounds like super like big or whatever,
Please say
but
it. No, I've seen many a dark places. Hey,
but I mean that's just like how I would describe it. Is like you know like I had to go somewhere in order to really not take this all for granted, to really see like the good in it. So I've changed my whole perspective, and I've just been trying to find more opportunities, and I don't know, I
dude.
really like where I am.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. I love that. And that's like so beautiful. Like thank you for liking where you are. Like I feel like it's just refreshing to hear. I don't yeah.
You really have to love the journey. I mean, you have to like understand like there's going to be struggles, there's going to be good times, it'll go up and down, but
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of like understand it when when somebody who's listening to this now, like, they might not be in a good place. Maybe they're in school right now, they don't like what they're learning, or they don't like their job, or they just don't feel like they're contributing. Like, it's kind of hard to understand that, things are going to get better, but as long as you keep at it, things will get better. If it's what you love, just keep going for it. I mean, there's no other option. What are you going to do? Are you going to quit? You have to keep going for it.
What's that quote? It's like, don't worry about the time it takes to accomplish a goal. Like the time will pass anyway. And
See, right. So true.
yeah, also it's like, I get sometimes when I'm in these dark places, it's like this too shall pass. Like these things, like everything's gonna be all right. Like
Right.
why
Yes.
stress out about stuff?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, things will always get better. Um, just have patience.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one.
And it's so funny. Like I feel like like life mindset lessons that I feel like I have learned over and over and over again. Like I'll still like have bad days and I'll still get stressed out sometimes, and it's like it's okay. Like I don't know. It's just like also it's good contrast too. Like I feel like sometimes it's meant to teach me something or meant to teach us something where it's like okay, like I don't know. Something
Right. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. I mean, you almost feel alive if there's like some negativity in your life. Like, you feel alive as opposed to like, oh, everything's going so smooth and like whatever. Like,
totally.
because you can overcome that. It makes you feel stronger.
Yeah. Also there's this weird thing. What was I listening to? I don't know if it was like a book or a podcast, but people seem to get more out of something when they work harder for it. Or if
Right.
like everything just came super easily, it's like, what's the fun in that? It's like really,
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, I guess maybe like thinking of it, like if somebody starts off with like a lot of money, like they'll just like, and I'm just generalizing here, but they'll sit around or they'll go on vacation and just kind of like live life through buying stuff and like having a good time, as
yeah,
opposed to like being hungry and wanting to contribute and like,
that's such an interesting point that you just made. And that's been a huge learning lesson for me. Like, gosh, I feel like I recently have had a fire under my butt for for monetary reasons. And it's like it is really exciting. And it makes me I won't say who I was speaking with about this, but once you do reach that point on YouTube, or once you do reach that point in your business where you're no longer freaking out about how you're going to pay your rent, um, is it still like where's that fire coming from? It's kind of like you really do have to recognize that like it's about the journey all along. Um,
right.
and once you get there, it's not like it's just over and you're like, yay, I made it, like it's like done now. No, it's like
Yeah.
this whole thing is actually a continuous thing that isn't just like for you to get to the end goal and be done forever.
And that's what you kind of learn about the ups and downs. Like, you really learn the process through it, and you learn to love the journey and what it's supposed to be for, as opposed to just like gaining all these followers, success, and like, because I could tell you, I mean, like, I've talked to a lot of YouTubers, and I don't know, just I don't feel like the passion is really there for some of them. As for others, like, I could tell like they really love the journey and they really love this process and like helping people. um but yeah, I don't know. I think, right, what you said, like learning to love the journey is what it's all about.
I love that. Wow, I did not know that the viewers out there would get this great mindset medicine as well.
It's, I like I said, like that's something I've been like, not experimenting, but like just trying to like dive deeper in. Like, I don't know, just the thinking more positive has changed me.
Definitely. Wow, definitely, definitely. All right, well, I guess if we have nothing else to catch up on, what's something that like you'd like to share about that you don't get to share that often?
Um,
Say?
that's a good question. Right now, honestly, I'm taking every day, day by day. I don't really have like anything like really big planned, but I'm always searching for the opportunities. I'm excited about my podcast because, as you know, like I've been interviewing people for like a lot of years, but this is kind of like a good place for me to curate everything and kind of like, I don't know, get the word out there in like a different platform. Podcasting, I think, is another great way for dietitians to get involved too, because that was a topic. Yeah, so I've been super excited about that. You know, so many people are driving, they're out on the go, and they can learn information just from audio. So I've been super excited about it. Um, and just kind of seeing what opportunity, like if I'm traveling and there's something I can get involved with, I'll do it. But yeah, just trying to reach as many people as I can with this message and just trying to help people.
I love it. Yeah, podcasts. Everybody, if you're in a city, needs a podcast to listen to while you're stuck in traffic.
What are some of your favorites?
Um,
Or do
Honestly,
you have favorites? I don't know.
my go-tos, lately I've really been listening to a lot of audiobooks actually. Like I do more,
Oh, okay.
but I really like Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness.
I've
Uh,
heard of that. I still haven't gotten around to listening to it, but I hear it's a good podcast.
yeah, yeah, it's really inspiring. And of course, Dr. Marvis and Mastering Diabetes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty decently close with Robbie and of Mastering Diabetes. So they recently started their podcast too, and I've been like, listening to that.
I saw Robbie or I saw him in August at the conference, actually. I bumped into him, but I've been following him for years, but I had no idea he was going to be there. And yeah, it was
So,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I know, awesome, awesome people. You're gonna have to come to LA, make the farmers market scene, make
Hmm.
all the make all the scenes.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully one day. I think I have a little trip planned to California, but I don't think it'll be in LA, but I'm still super excited about it because it'll be my first time to see
Cool.
California. But
Wait, I'm curious what your favorite podcasts are.
um okay, so nutrition wise, I like nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Greger just posts like I guess some of his videos he's already made into audio, so it's kind of cool to get
That's
that info
I
on the go.
did not know he had a podcast, and if I did, I feel like I'd be on that train for like a while.
Oh yeah, totally. It's great. Um, the exam room by the PCRM is really good. Here, let me pull up my podcast list because I like podcasts have been keeping me going because I do like a 2 hour commute one way each day. So
Shut
like, yeah, so I get like 4 hours of podcasts every day.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Anyone else think that's like
Oh, I'm totally crazy for doing it, but yeah, I told you, like I'm freaking crazy, man. But that's my lifestyle right now. It's like I'm commuting 2 hours every day. I don't have to pay rent because I'm staying here with my parents for now, and so I'm just
oh, that's nice.
yeah, yeah. Like when I was in Florida, a lot of what I was making was going towards just rent because I
Like
was living
life,
in
literally every penny is like
yeah. Well, I was living in like downtown Miami, and it was so expensive. So
yeah.
now I'm able to kind of save a
Yes,
little bit more.
hit my parents up. Like, yo.
Dude, there's no shame in that. Absolutely not. Like so many of the successful people I've talked to are like, if you're relatively young, like in your 20s, whatever, like, and if you can live with your parents, do it. Don't care what other people think of you. Like, it's so hard to make it these days, man.
Yeah,
Like, jobs are so much more competitive, and rent is like
insane.
so expensive.
It's
Yeah.
in-
So if do what you got to do.
But I love
Um,
my spa in Venice, dude. I feel like I really hope everybody comes to visit me before I end up like moving home or whatever, because I really do. I live right by the beach. I live right by
you're
Epic.
so lucky.
I live and like I got wicked lucky for sure with this spot.
You live in Venice Beach?
Yeah.
Um, I think Paul the Gelder lives close to you. Do you know who he is?
Ooh, no, I know.
I, I had him on my podcast, and he is he's this vegan dude who was part of the Australian Marines, who
Oh,
actually got his arm and hand bitten off by a shark, and now is like a huge inspiration for people like who have gone through similar things. And he's actually an advocate for protecting sharks and other sea life. Like he's this super vegan badass. You got to look him up if you don't know who he is.
yeah, definitely.
But
Wow.
I
Like,
think let me tell you, so my podcast that I listen to, I listen to the Gary Vee audio experience. I don't know if you know who Gary Vee is, but huge inspiration for me, just kind of getting into like a positive mindset. The stuff he says like is kind of like the same thing over and over again, but it's almost like a mental coaching type of thing for me. And it's kind of cool to see, what he talks about social media. Joe Rogan experience is great. He covers so many different topics. So for me, that's like really entertaining and kind of thought provoking. Um, I listened to Couples Therapy with Casey Neistat and his wife Candace. You know Casey?
yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
actually met him out in New York in March. I
cool.
went to his studio and dude, it was so awesome. But Rich Roll is great too.
Yeah, Rich Roll. I
Yeah,
crossed paths with Rich Roll in real life.
yeah. Oh, he's such a cool guy. Like I would say that's probably my favorite podcast.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listen to that the most.
Cool.
But yeah, podcast, man.
Wait,
They're the best.
yeah. Sorry, I feel like I was gonna ask. I forget what we were saying. Well,
About podcasts or what?
I don't know. I forget. I don't even remember. It was like
Dude, I always lose my train of thought. Like when I'm doing interviews, I always lose it. Like I try to write them down on like a piece of paper. This was for Joel Con yesterday, but even then I'm like, uh, what was I gonna ask?
well, that means that I think that it happens when I'm being a good listener. You know,
No, yeah, totally. Like you're like, yeah, I totally get it.
like actually, yeah.
Sometimes like when I'm interviewing somebody, it almost feels like I'm watching a YouTube video and like they're waiting for my response and I'm kind of like just sitting there like watching. You know what I mean? It's so funny. But
Oh
yeah,
wait, I
it's not
actually
good.
remember what I was gonna say though. Like I was just we were talking about like I don't know running into people and
Yeah.
just jogging on the boardwalk. I've crossed paths with Brandon Brazier,
Oh man.
like the whole like Vega situation and his
Yeah.
and I was like whoa like just
How
like
is he in person?
I've never like we've never talked or anything like that. It's just like these people are just like it's commonplace and
You
it's
just see them.
yeah 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 I've seen Rich Roll. Yeah, it's really funny.
That's so
Um,
cool.
and
I would definitely try to stop them like if you see them next
I,
time. Yeah.
I know that's the thing. It's like I don't want to, because this is like like it just feels like,
Yeah.
and like obviously we're both exercising. Like I wasn't gonna be like, hey, like,
But you live probably in like, in my opinion, like one of the best places in the world. Like, oh man, if I was there and like, oh God, that would be so awesome. I'm so jealous right now.
yeah, wow, well, thanks, and it's 100% possible for you. I literally didn't know what I was doing. I just drove here, like no plan really at all, and you know made it work. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I feel like people, it's definitely possible. If you're really that jealous and you want to come, like you should just do it.
Well, maybe I'll visit one day, but if the timing's right or whatever, like, yeah, I would love to live there too.
It's so dope. I guess let's finish this up for a second. So what all did you eat today, and what are you planning?
Today? Let's see. So today, what time is it right now? So it's 1. I've had like overnight oats. It's like my go-to breakfast. It's so good. Basically, what I have a mason jar. I'll put in quick oats, kind of like they're super flat or whatever. So they're quick oats. Put them in with some almond milk, chia seeds, flax seeds, frozen berries like strawberries, blueberries, banana. Did I put anything else? I don't think I do. And then I mix it all together and I put it in the fridge. And when I wake up in the morning, it's like all ready to eat. And it actually tastes good. Like I'm not like forcing myself to eat it. It's super delicious. So I had that for breakfast. I had like a glass of orange juice, a little like couple hours after, and I'll probably eat lunch. To be honest with you, right after this talk here, I'm gonna put in some sweet potatoes and some tomatoes up with it, some avocado, some greens, and that'll be my lunch. Maybe a can of beans or something. How
Yeah.
about you?
How about me?
You just woke up, right? Or a
Yeah, I
couple hours ago, I guess.
woke up just right before this.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's 10 a.m. now, so that's good. But since I've been sick, I've been really like I just want to eat watermelon like all day. Like it's like so
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I
and
get those times where I just want to eat fruit.
yeah, yeah. But I've been really stoked since I've been like so jam-packed busy. I've been stoked on like prepping stuff for myself ahead of time. Like that overnight oats is like so fire to be able to grab something like that, when you're like busy.
Definitely.
So peeps, if you're not doing that, do it, please. Where all can everybody find you? Your podcast, your YouTube, Instagram. Where can we find ya? Wait, my thing just like stopped.
You are totally frozen.
Yeah. Yo.
Hey, are you still there?
Wow, cool. And it's still recording. Is that hopefully that didn't all just get deleted?
I
Yeah.
hope not. Yeah, you had frozen like there for a second.
Yeah, you froze too. But I want everybody
Man.
to follow you on YouTube, on your podcast, everything. Bananiac.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm Bananiac everywhere. Bananiac, and the podcast is called This Is Bananas. So you guys can find it pretty much anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's on Anchor, like anywhere.
Wow, that's so dope. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got it on all those platforms. Cool. Alrighty. Well,
So
thank you.
yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really glad we did this, being able to connect and share similar thoughts. It's like refreshing, in a way, to know there's somebody out there that has the same experiences, thoughts, and feelings. So yeah, thanks for doing this.
I really appreciate connecting with you. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have some time to go ride your bike or something. Have a beautiful, incredible day. And yeah,
Thank you.
in touch for sure. Let me know you gotta visit LA.
For sure. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know if I'm down.
Sweet. Peace
All right. See you, Katie.
on the gram.
Later.
Bye.